excited to do what we're doing today. Never done it, but what we're gonna be doing is rooting cutoffs from a apple and a pear tree and trying to grow another tree from a pruning cutoff. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna show you the method, kind of tell you what I've been doing now for a couple weeks. And then we're just gonna do the process together. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm gonna show you here the cutoffs that we have. They're just in this bucket, you can see. But I'm actually gonna take you to the apple tree and the pear tree to give you a peek at where we cut them from. And also, then we're gonna do the process of taking a peek at those and getting them planted in these pots that you can probably see right by this pole here. I don't know if you can see those, but anyways, let's go to the trees and I'll show you. Okay, so I'm here in what I call my orchard. We got a lot of rain over the weekend, so it's pretty wet out here. But I want to give you a peek at the trees and what they look like, and I want to give a little bit of a tip, I guess, on pruning too. We pruned these about 2 weeks ago now, and the growth on them has been incredible. And I'm going to tell you, when you're pruning a tree back of new growth, it's kind of scary because it looks like you're going to be like killing half the tree, but I promise it's really, really good. So let me turn you around and show you. So this is our Asian pear tree here. I think that's what it's called. And it's obviously in full bloom. But the biggest cutoff that we have from it is right here. You can actually see this little nub. See that there? So when you prune, you want to cut it on an angle. But this cutoff, you'll be able to see when I show you from the bucket up front, but it was very tall and it sprouted way high. And when you're pruning, you want to keep everything kind of tight to the trunk, because if you have a sprout that's super long and out, the tree's gonna have to give so much energy to getting all of its production to that end of that stem, even this one here, right? That if you keep it pruned, it'll give more energy to what it has here, and you'll see a lot more of fullness in the tree, and it won't grow as tall too, so all of your fruit will be lower. But we pruned that one there, so I've got one cut off from this, and then I'm going to show you the apple trees. Okay, so these are the apple trees. I gotta get out here once it dries up a bit and get my weed whacker under here and trim it up. But you can see here too, same thing. We cut that there, and look at the blossoms already. They are just beautiful. So this is, I believe, the Macintosh apple. We have to fix our fencing too. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see that there's deer in our yard almost every day. So we put fencing up to protect the trees. Now this one, we did 3 cutoffs because it was growing wild. So you can see one there, you can see one there, and you can see one right here. See that one there? So you can see that it keeps all of its fruit low, and it's not giving a huge energy to pushing everything out to make it grow tall. And it's working for us. Actually, there's 4 because there's another one here at the center of the tree there. You can see that? So there is the pruning that we did. So now I'm going to take you to the front and show you the cutoffs and how we're going to use the cutoffs to now hopefully start new trees. Okay, so here are all of the cutoffs. As you saw, the pear tree I showed you it was a tall cutoff. So this cutoff that we pruned was, you can tell, super, super tall on that tree. So I'm gonna actually take these inside now. They've been in water in the ends, and these weren't bloomed when we cut them. They weren't even budded. They were like, they literally all looked like this. Maybe not even that big. So they're obviously alive and well. They're not dead by no means. So I'm going to take you through the process of what we need to do to the end of the cutoff to get them ready to plant in the soil. Now, this is what we're going to be planting them in. So it's just garden soil. It's actually called garden soil. And we've got 6 pots. So I'm gonna try and choose the best 6 cutoffs. We like apples and eat apples and use apples more than pears. So I'm thinking we're gonna do maybe 1 more pear and then try and get 5 or even 2 pears and 4 apples. We'll see. Anyways, I just wanted to show you for reference what those look like. And now I'm gonna take you over and we're gonna start at the stalks on the cutoffs. Okay, so I hope that this is good lighting here. I just thought maybe I would keep it outside on the table here instead of bringing it all inside. But I did the end of the pear tree cutoff the other day and just stuck it back in the water so it didn't dry out. So I'm going to show you first. So you're going to take your trimming, and now you can see how tall this is. So if it's standing on the ground, it comes up to almost my chest. So you can see that if it was on the pear tree out there, it would be really, really tall. Like this was a very, very tall part of that tree. And now you know what I mean by that tree had to give so much of its energy to get up this stalk into the ends of this branch. So when you prune this off, it can then take that energy and push it into the bottom branches and make that fuller and produce a lot more. So that's what I've been learning, and as you know, I bring it all to you. So this is what I did to begin. I literally just took this X-Acto knife and I run it along the edge like this and just peel the bark off. And then I kind of just circled it around here until I got a clean cut, and I would peel it off. So I'm going to do this to all of the cutoffs so they're ready to go into the dirt, and then before we actually put them in the dirt, I have to do more to this end here. So I'm going to show you on one of the apple cutoffs so you can see exactly what I mean. So let me grab, let's do this one here. It's quite like the, like look at this one. This one in itself could almost be its own apple tree. Like if it was standing in the ground, it would be up to here on me, right? So I said to my husband while we were pruning, I said, we could probably like make another apple tree without having to start it by seed. Like this is almost already a tree. And he says, yeah, let's try it. So we got looking into it, and this is the method they use. So as you can see, we literally have just cut this off. This has went into that bucket of water, covered up to here, and that's about what I'm going to take off, is that much. So what you're gonna do is be a bit gentle. Let me show you. Okay, so you're just going to take your X-Acto knife and you're just gonna kind of take the skin or the bark off, and when you get to your height, you're just gonna wanna push down, and there you go. You've got that piece off. See how it starts exposing the inside of the branch? Whoops, I'm shaking the camera here. So you're just gonna go ahead and do that all the way around until the whole end of this cutoff looks like that. Obviously you want to be very careful, and I'm just going to go around here because that's where I know I want it to stop. And you're just going to keep doing that all the way around. So let me finish this up and then I'll show you. Okay, so I got this one done. You can see there that the bark is off of the trunk all the way around. That's what we're gonna call it, a trunk, because that is what I want to happen. So there we go. That is what it's supposed to look like. And I just want to say, I was talking to a friend the other day, and it's a new friend, and she's like, how do you do all of this stuff? And it's so funny. So if you watch me and you're like, how is she doing all these things, and she's home all the time and she's with her kids and she's making trees out of cutoffs, there's a link in my description for what I do at home that allows me to be home and actually create an income for everything that I'm able to do and do this. So check that out if you are interested. But anyways, what you're gonna do is you're gonna want it to look like this, and then the next steps is we're going to kind of rough this up because we want it to take root, right? So I saw a guy doing this, but his cutoffs were literally like this right here in itself. That's all, just this piece in like a pot. So it would have just been like this being the tree. And here I am with the entire, looks like a tree already. So what I saw is this now is going to be your root system, because this is going to be the bottom of the tree. But it's going to be a little bit tough for this to just start a tiny root out of the bottom. So what I've seen and what we're gonna do is we're gonna rough this up, and it might be bumpy on the table here, but simply we're just going to like almost shred this where it's like all fibery, I guess. And we're just gonna make it all shredded. So once it's in the dirt, it's already like this and opened up a bit, and it's not just a solid stalk. And hopefully, praying, it's going to take root and it will produce a solid root system so this can continue to grow into a tree. That is my hopes. That's what we're gonna do. So let's go ahead and do that now. Be careful, folks. I just slipped and the knife hit my finger because I was trying to rush that. So what's working, because this is tough. It's literally like a piece of wood that's that big round, right? So what you're gonna do is be very, very careful. That's all I can say. And you're gonna wanna, as you can see there, I was like rocking it back and forth, right? So I was taking the X-Acto knife and kind of just going like this and moving it along, but I put too much force on that one and it slipped clearly and it just hit my finger. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're just wanna keep doing that. So you can see that it's obviously roughed up. There's like, I'm starting to peel it back. Almost, almost like a cheese string, right? So you're peeling the layers of your cheese string back. So that's what you're gonna wanna do. So I'm just gonna do this now. I'm not gonna record it because you get the idea of it, but I'm gonna do this all the way around, and then I'm gonna show you what it looks like. And just to keep this end moist, I'm going to put it back into the bucket of water so it stays moist. And then once they're all done here, I'll show you what they look like and we will get them put into the soil. Okay, so I did a little bit from the end and I found that easier, so I just kind of did this motion from the end down, this way down. I don't want to spread them too far because I don't want them to break off, but as you can see now, this end is all kind of split up. It's not just a stalk anymore. So I'm going to put this back in the water, but you can see that when this is standing in the dirt, it has a lot more potential now from all of these little twiggy, kind of whatever these would be called, to root from. So I'm going to put this in the water to keep it moist so it doesn't dry out. And I'm going to do the rest of them and then we will go over and get them potted. Okay, so I've got all of my pots here now that I showed you earlier, 6 of them, and I found the 6 best cutoffs and did my best for the method I'm going with. So all of the ends are now like this, split. So it's pretty tricky. Just take your time doing it. You can see all the ends are like this, and then I have this one that I did with you, and then the other 3 that I could find that were the best are just singles and they're a bit smaller, but all of the ends are ready and I've got them in the water here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm simply just going to dig a hole into the middle of each pot, just kind of like this, and put my shovel in close to the bottom and pull the dirt back. So I don't know if you can see it. There's a bit of a hole. I'm not sure with the sun out here if you can see that. Anyways, I can put my hand in there. And I'm just gonna take one of the cutoffs. So let's just start with the small one. So I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna put it into the dirt. Now when I'm putting it down in, I wanna make sure that the end that we kind of sliced open so it looks like this has dirt go in between it. You see how there's dirt in between there? When you put it in, you kind of want to keep them separated a bit so they already start acting as if they're roots. And you want to put them down in, and then you're just going to fill in around and push the dirt down all the way around so it's stable on its own. Kind of like I just did there. And that is pretty well it. So there we go. We've got one planted. Now let's go ahead and do the other 5. Okay, so there we go. Praying to God, Lord, let these grow and have strength, because how incredible will this be if all of these actually root and become trees? So I'm gonna show you a close-up, especially this one here, because once I packed the dirt down, that stem that I scraped and I peeled off all of the bark, I stripped, you can see some of it because there's not enough dirt. So I'm going to show you what I mean, and then I'm going to grab a bag of dirt and just top these up. And now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to keep this soil very moist, because it needs that, just like a seed would, to germinate and to have that growth. It needs to stay moist. You do not want this soil to go dry, or most likely, I'm pretty 100% sure almost, that these would just die. So I'll turn the camera around and show you what I mean by this stem here. And then I'm gonna grab some more soil and then just fill these up. But let me show you what I mean. So see this one here, how you can still see part of the stem that I took the bark off. You're gonna wanna make sure that that is covered in dirt. And all of these look super good. So obviously too, when you plant them, you wanna make sure that the stem is standing as straight as can be, because when you plant it in the ground, you're gonna want a straight tree. And these ones are good. So I'm just gonna grab the dirt and fill these up, but take a peek. How cool. Just praying that this method works. So let me grab the dirt and we'll fill this up. Okay, so they are all done. You can see that the stalks on them are completely covered. And they're all full of dirt. There we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure that they're in the sun, and I'm going to make sure, like I said, that they're always moist and the soil never gets dry. And I will keep you updated on how it actually works out. Obviously, the rooting system isn't just going to spring over the next couple days. It'll probably take a while, but they're fine outside now because the apple tree and the peach tree, or the apple tree and the pear tree that are in the ground, are completely fine. So the weather's good. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep them moist, keep them out in the sun. I'm gonna bring the pots back out just off of the porch here so they're not covered and they're in the weather, just like a tree would be. And I will keep you updated on how it all works out. So yeah, there we go. That is how you take a pruning from one of your fruit trees and strip the end of it, hoping that it creates a root system and starts another fruit tree, so you don't have to start your fruit trees from seed, because that could take up to 5 to 10 years to get to an actual producing big fruit tree. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, click subscribe, ring that bell so you never miss a video. I'm going to be bringing a lot of outdoor things to you guys now. I'm just really excited that it's that time of year. I thrive in it, absolutely love it. And it also is the season of blooms and blossoms, because I love self-sufficiency, and this is the beginning of that season. So follow along, guys. I'll keep you up to date, and as always, thank you from the bottom of my heart for following along, and I'll see you guys back here next time. Bye.